double, or even triple, 2 to 3 times. I really want you to just sit with that number for a second, because that is the projected, frankly staggering increase in data center energy use we're looking at in just a few short years. I mean, the AI revolution is absolutely exploding, and it's fueling this unprecedented demand for electricity. Data centers, which are basically the physical brains of the internet, are multiplying like crazy, and they are gobbling up more power than ever before. If we don't start thinking big, and I mean literally astronomically big, we're staring down the barrel of a massive energy shortage. Welcome to today's Explainer. So our mission right now is to unpack a technology that honestly sounds like it was ripped straight out of a sci-fi movie, but might actually be the ultimate real-world answer to the digital world's booming energy crisis. We're talking about space-based solar power. And get this, we're rapidly approaching a huge turning point. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our step-by-step roadmap. We'll start with the AI energy crisis. Look at harnessing power from space and how we're beaming that energy to Earth. Then we'll hit the 2028 turning point, the hurdles in the heavens, and finally wrap up with the new energy era. Section 1. The AI energy crisis. Look, tech giants like Meta and Google are in a tight spot right now. They urgently need clean, reliable, 24/7 power to run these massive AI operations. And they want to do it without falling back on dirty diesel backup generators to meet their climate goals. They need an alternative fast. Now, earthbound terrestrial solar is fantastic, but, well, it's got a fundamental flaw. It's intermittent. It's totally weather dependent, and obviously it suffers from downtime every single night when the sun sets. Contrast that with space-based solar. It's the ultimate trifecta, really. You get constant, completely weatherproof, 24/7 baseload electricity. It perfectly solves that exact intermittency problem that currently plagues our renewables down here on Earth. Section 2. Harnessing power from space. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is just how elegantly simple the core idea actually is. The magic number is 36,000 kilometers. By placing advanced solar satellites in a geosynchronous orbit exactly 36,000 kilometers above the Earth, they are perfectly positioned to soak up constant sunlight. Up there, there's no weather, they're never shaded by clouds, and they're never plunged into nighttime. They basically just deploy these massive solar arrays and soak up unfiltered, intense solar radiation without a single interruption every hour of every single day. Now, you might be wondering, why not just launch the actual data centers themselves into space to be closer to the sun? Well, moving hardware to space is a total logistical nightmare. Launching and then trying to maintain millions of highly sensitive servers in orbit, the costs are astronomically high. Instead, a company called Overview Energy is championing a much smarter strategy, moving photons to Earth. It's an elegant, highly efficient approach that separates where we generate the power from where we consume it, so we keep the complex data centers safely on the ground and just beam the power down from dedicated solar satellites, tapping right into our existing ground infrastructure. Section 3. Beaming energy to Earth. Of course, capturing the sun's energy in orbit is really only half the battle. So how do we actually get this power back down to our grids across the vast vacuum of space? Let's walk through the exact journey of a photon. First, those orbiting satellites collect all that intense, unfiltered sunlight. Second, actually, scratch that, this is the really crazy part. Instead of needing physical wires, the satellite converts that electricity into a safe, near-infrared laser beam. Third, it aims that beam precisely at a ground receiving station back on Earth. And fourth, those ground stations, which can literally just be our existing solar farms, specially upgraded, catch that light and convert it right back into clean electricity. We're talking about wireless power transfer on a planetary scale. By upgrading current solar farms, those exact same facilities can suddenly generate power at night or even right in the middle of a thunderstorm. Okay, I know, whenever people hear the phrase space lasers beaming energy to Earth, it naturally sparks a bit of anxiety. So let's clearly define what this actually is to put your mind at ease. A near-infrared laser is a low-intensity, completely invisible beam. In fact, it is specifically engineered to be less intense than natural sunlight. It safely bypasses the need for physical connections and is completely harmless. Zero risk to people living nearby, to wildlife, or even to airplanes flying right through the beam. Securing public trust and regulatory approval with this safety-first design is central to the whole shebang. Section 4. The 2028 Turning Point. The coolest part? This technology isn't just some theoretical white paper anymore. There is serious corporate momentum driving this.
Overview Energy, the startup that's really pushing these boundaries, has brought on a board of absolute heavy hitters to guide them. We're talking former NASA chiefs, top tech leaders, and even a former head of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. Looking at their timeline, it moves fast. In 2026, Overview Energy formed a groundbreaking partnership with Meta. And just 2 years later, in 2028, they are prepping for a massive in-space demonstration of their cutting-edge satellite tech. This 2028 launch, it's the critical proof of concept the entire energy industry is waiting for.
And the sheer scale of that 2026 agreement with Meta is just massive. 1 gigawatt. Overview Energy agreed to supply up to 1 gigawatt of clean, space-generated power directly to Meta's U.S. data centers. To put that into perspective for a second, a single gigawatt is enough electricity to power hundreds of thousands of homes. So the crucial point is how the industry views this. Listen to Meta's Energy VP, who called this partnership transformative for delivering uninterrupted clean power. For a global digital empire like Meta, locking down round-the-clock renewable energy guarantees their operations stay resilient as AI demand just keeps skyrocketing. This proves that space solar isn't some flashy PR gimmick. It's a strategic necessity for the biggest tech companies in the world. Section 5. Hurdles in the Heavens. Now, as brilliantly bold as this vision is, commercial-scale space solar isn't fully proven just yet, and this brilliantly illustrates some stark economic and environmental realities we still have to navigate. First off, launch costs. Putting this massive infrastructure into orbit is incredibly expensive. Even using today's reusable rockets, we're looking at a price tag in the tens of billions of dollars. Second, economics on the ground. Space power has to fiercely compete on price with standard terrestrial solar paired with increasingly cheap battery storage for nighttime use. And finally, there's a very real environmental concern for astronomy. Filling the sky with thousands of massive, highly reflective new solar satellites could severely impact humanity's view of the cosmos. Solving all of these hurdles is going to require major international cooperation and strict regulation. Section 6. A new energy era. But if we do overcome those hurdles, the payoff is absolutely staggering. Let's move to Rue and see how this builds a completely different future. Because energy beamed from orbit doesn't just help out big tech companies, it has the potential to revolutionize national power grids across the entire globe. Both the US and the UK are currently facing aging power grids alongside surging digital demands. For the United States, space-based solar provides desperately needed, steady baseload power for its booming tech hubs, while strongly reinforcing national energy independence. And for the United Kingdom, it offers a perfect complement to their existing offshore wind infrastructure. It promises to deliver firm, clean power straight through those notoriously long, cloudy British nights. Ultimately, Overview Energy's upcoming 2028 demonstration represents a vision of abundance and sustainability, not scarcity. We are sitting at a true crossroads in how humanity generates its power. If this tech actually succeeds, it could open the floodgates for commercial adoption and create a truly global energy network. Picture it, solar farms and data centers just humming along on clean, uninterrupted power, day and night, completely regardless of the weather. It totally redefines how humanity powers its own progress. Every single leap in human progress has always begun with a crazy bold vision and the perseverance to see it through. The countdown to that 2028 orbital demonstration has officially begun. It is a countdown to what could be a totally new chapter in the human story. So I'll leave you with this question to ponder. As our digital demands threaten to overwhelm our earthly resources, will harnessing the sun from space be our next giant leap? Keep an eye on the sky, you guys, because the future of energy is literally waiting for us just above the horizon.